What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Parker and I like to talk in videos. So based off that, now you are forewarned. In today's video, I have a very interesting question for you guys, right? So today's question, as you can tell by the title and thumbnail, goes as follows. Has the internet made life better or worse? Yeah. So I think that is a very, very interesting question. It has a lot of meat to it. It is a very loaded question. So let's start talking about both sides, right? We gotta talk about both sides as unbiased and all that stuff. So, you know, we're kind of debating within ourselves, right? And if you guys definitely have an opinion, put it down in the comments below. Let's talk about some of these things. It'd be a really interesting topic to get multiple different perspectives on. Let's start talking about the worst. Let's talk about why it's worse, and then let's end off with the better note, because we want to feel good and we want to leave the video feeling really terrible. Why has the internet made life worse? Well, let's start off with the obvious reasons. So, here's two words. Dark web. It has made criminal activity easy. It has made those kind of things incredibly easier, right? So, whether you're trading weapons and drugs or, people, you know, that has been made easier. A lot of criminal activity based on the dark web, you know what I mean? You can find, like, I have not done this myself. I'm actually not really that great on, like, researching and stuff like that, finding these things. I'm not really good at that, but I do have other friends who have told me about, you know, ways to get to these certain pages and, like, how the darkest and the deepest crevices of, like, you know, Reddit and 4chan, and 4chan is just a mess, but all these different places that you can see some of these disgusting acts. Like, it's really bad. Like, without going further into that, there's some of the darkest things you can think of that people are proud to you know, be a part of here on Earth. You know what I mean? Well, we don't know who these people are, unfortunately. So, but anyway, that's not the point. Let's just say that kind of stuff has been made worlds easier based off of technology. It's very easy to commit like fraud, you know what I mean? Like, it's very easy to scam people. It's very easy to, man, God, like it's almost as if it's really easy to be a bad person. Like, I don't know. Jeez, I'm already getting sad. So you guys know where I'm going with that. Let's just kind of encaptivate all the criminal and dark and disgusting and, like, you know, all of that. Let's just, you know, that's part of that. So that's the scale's very weighted already. But anyway, on the lighter side of that side, let's talk about, like, something like social media. There's obviously a ton of great things that has come from that. However, with that has come a lot of different, you know, very new problems, social diseases, if you will. I actually talk about that in another video, link in bio, shameless plug. But when the world's broadcasting their entire highlight reel of their life and everything that's going great with them, a lot of people find themselves having comparison issues. You know, the stress, anxiety, depression, all that goes up because it's very not talked about, of course, mental health and all that, but that kind of stuff has gone up because, you know, everyone's trapped in their own head when they're scrolling through Instagram or going through Snapchat. They see people doing these things and doing whatever, but obviously, you know, people wouldn't post when they're feeling like shit and when they're not doing well. So of course, like, that's gonna, you know, affect them, and they're gonna compare themselves. You know, I too suffer from comparing myself to other people. It is very bad. That issue is very fed by social media and all these different platforms. So I definitely say that doesn't help with the social diseases and the feeling that people already feel getting amplified because, you know, they feel left out or they feel this or feel that. I'm not saying, like, that's anybody's fault in particular, that, you know, social media wasn't meant to do that. I'm sure conspiracy theorists can help me out. But however, that is a guaranteed byproduct. You know, with something great, there's always going to be the side effects. So that is unfortunately some of the side effects. I think another thing that is very, let's call it, off-putting about the internet and why it's made life worse is the advancement of navigation. So geo-tracking and navigation and just overall security that can be monitored, you know, whatever cameras, they're everywhere, right? So I mean, like, take the movie, if you guys have ever seen the movie with Shia LaBeouf, Eagle Eye, that is like one of the scariest movies, not like in the terms of like, you know, Annabelle scary, but like scary in like the idea of it, you know what I mean? Like if you guys haven't seen it, it's basically this computer, this supercomputer that like can like literally hack into anything, hack into any electronic thing, and kind of made these two people do whatever it needed to, whatever. But the point is that there's cameras everywhere, and it was so hard to find a place where they are not seen, right? Right? I mean, like, you think, oh, you know, like right now I'm in my room and I'm like, oh, that's safe. Well, right now I got this big fucking camera in front of me. You know, you have like, if you have a desktop, you got your desktop camera. If you got your laptop, you got your laptop camera. If you guys didn't know already, like your TV, the microphones, they record. You know, Amazon, Alexa, they record what you're saying. Your phone, they record. They can pick up keywords, and that's why you had targeted advertising. If you haven't noticed it already, look it up. There's been people who do all the, like, you know, there's a couple, like, I forgot what article it was, but there's a couple that's, you know, that just only said certain words to test it out around Alexa, and they only got targeted advertising for that. I mean, there's a lot of that for targeted advertising, but that can be weaponized. And what I mean by that, not turn, you know, guns, but like, they can turn that into, you know, finding you. If for some reason, hopefully you're innocent, but if you are innocent and you are trying to be found by somebody, it is very easy to find you. Especially if you are technologically savvy and you do know how to work these things, you can be found anywhere. It's really hard. Like back in the 1980s, when someone wanted to, hey, let's get out of the country, that meant like you're gone, you're ghost, right? But like nowadays, you gotta be some sort of fucking Bourne, you know, Jason Bourne, to get out of the country, just not be found, like to be ghost, like it's a life decision. Like it's not the way it was. The technology we have now, you can be found so easily, and you really don't have privacy. Like the privacy versus security ratio is so off. And for me personally, for someone else that might be really cool because they feel safe or whatever. And this is not just to say like, well, you should be like, why would you want to be found? Why wouldn't you want to be found? Or blah blah blah, all this stuff. It's not just because you're a criminal. It's just I don't know. I feel uncomfortable with that. Like just always being watched kind of thing. I think that's very uncomfortable. If you can't tell, I don't really trust the government. I don't really trust those kind of people. So if I don't trust them, of course, like I don't want them to know all these different things, right? Obviously, of course, it sounds like, oh, I'm hiding something. Like, you know, people who talk like that sound like they're hiding something, but they're really not. It's really about the privacy. But anyway, I just think that is very off-putting. I think that's very negative, or it could be a very negative attribute for the internet argument. However, I think it's a very loaded side already. I think that is extremely loaded on that teeter-totter. However, I don't even know what that thing's called. Is that a teeter-totter? Let's talk about some of the positive things. The internet has revolutionized the world as we know it. From 10,000 BC to the 1900s. We've had more growth and advancement in like from 1900, the Industrial Revolution on, or Industrial Revolution's like 18, or something like that, you know what I mean? 1900 to 2019, we've had more progress and advancement in technology and like the way we communicate and do business. We've had more progress here than all of that combined. Now, this doesn't, if you are a conspiracy theorist, then obviously what I said does not make sense. And I know conspiracies. I like them. I believe in some of them. There's some crazy ones out there. So depending on who you are out there, I don't know who's watching this, but if you are a conspiracy theorist, then you're probably not listening to this part. However, when the internet became popular, it revolutionized everything we know and we see. So the way we talk to people, the way we do business, the way we communicate, the way now we can understand our world, the way like how information gets passed is absolutely uncanny. And that itself almost balances out all that shit. I mean, a lot of the stuff that's over on the negative side is a byproduct of this. However, you know, information that we would have never known from, like, you know, archaeologists, for example, archaeologists in like China, or, you know what I mean, like some research done in the history of Canada, like how all this stuff travels, how we can understand our world now is because of how we communicate, how we do international business, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing necessarily, but like, you know, everything you look down on it says made in China. Well, I don't think that'd be a thing without, like, you know, the internet because everything was made in America. And then as soon as we started doing international trade because we can communicate with them, obviously all of our products that we can buy like at Walmart and shit are so much cheaper. How everything's made in China. So take that with whatever grain of salt you want. However, with the stuff that's made in China, we can conduct a business with them. We can buy things that are cheaper, like imported goods. We can buy things that are cheaper. Because of that, we can buy these, like, we have mass imported cars, you know what I mean? Like Toyota, Honda, Kia, geez, I'm leaving out so many. But all of these different car makers, these foreign car makers, we wouldn't have that many choices because without doing business with them, they wouldn't be able to come here. And that those brands are more popular than ours. Like, I can guarantee you, depending on what state you live in, because if you live in Texas, I'm sure that American car companies are definitely, you know, reign supreme, like Chevy, Ford, Cadillac, all that bullshit. Business has forever been revolutionized. And I'm not even getting to the best part about that business. So anyway, communication, of course, social media. That's it. Like, social media, period. Like, how I'm talking to you right now, internet, YouTube, game changer, right? In the words of Robert California, Office, game changer. So how I'm talking to you right now wouldn't obviously, like, I'm not talking to you like you're stupid. Like, this is just, like, it's mind blowing how much of this world has been revolutionized by the internet. I'm talking to you in the back, like all of you, no matter where you are watching me, right? And if you leave a comment down below talking about your thoughts, go ahead and do that, like the video, all that stuff. I will be able to communicate back to you within seconds. Like, that's fucking nuts. That's nuts. Oh man, that was good. So I don't need to go further into that because I think we all get it. I'll be reiterating myself, which I'm trying not to do. And so the last thing I would say is how it pioneered the whole internet entrepreneur world. I think that, you know, people who own a business like a mom and pop shop, you know, like, I'm sure that at one point Walmart was just a store, right? It was just a store, and then it had a couple, maybe then it had like another location, a couple branches, and then it became, you know, what it is today. And that was probably before the internet. I don't know, I haven't done research on Walmart, I'm just saying that as an example. But with the whole internet entrepreneur age that we're in, people can literally start with nothing, and have millions of dollars. Like, if obviously with work, I know it's just not just that plain and simple, but to make it that blatant and simple, it is possible to start with nothing, have a laptop, an iPad, a phone, and to, you know, you can do so many different things between like day trading stocks, doing Forex, you can do drop shipping, you can open up an Amazon store, eBay flipping. There is just a monumental amount of opportunity that's out there. That's why it's still under the entrepreneurship category, because not everybody's gonna go out there to garage sales, estate sales, and buy all this stuff, do the research to know the knowledge to, like, oh, like this Barbie doll's worth $50, I'm gonna buy it for $2, and then, you know, whatever. Like, they're not gonna do all that. Not a lot of people, that's not for everybody. However, that opportunity is out there, and it's like, for the true entrepreneur spirit, if you really want to put yourself into that position, it is so possible. You know, and the fact that what, like, everyone likes to bring up is YouTube nowadays, is like, you know, there's PewDiePie, one word, PewDiePie, right? Like, millionaires, multi-millionaires caused by the internet, right? I can go deeper into that, but I won't because I don't want to bore you guys. But there's obviously a reason for that. I think with the new internet entrepreneur age and the whole revolutionizing of the internet, it has kind of caused like this paradigm shift of one of the most important aspects, and it has caused one thing to become most valuable rather than time or money or loyalty or anything else in the business world, and that's attention. Again, I won't go deeper into that. However, if you guys want me to make a video on that, I definitely will. Leave a comment down below. However, I think that in itself is absolutely ludicrous. It's hard to wrap your head around. Like, you know, I was born in the 90s, so as a kid, I got to experience, which I'm very fortunate for, that I actually got to experience what it was like to go out and like play with my friends, not an Xbox controller, that was later, but like, you know, go out and like go have adventures, go out, be back when the street lights come on, you know what I mean, be back home. Like I experienced that for several years, and like had the neighborhood block friends and all that kind of stuff. That was very, very cool. And I was also old enough to remember how technology changed. Like it seemed like for me, my first cell phone was the Motorola Razr. It was the flip phone, the Razr, and everyone's like, this is a Razr. And, like that was my first cell phone. And like at that point I was riding the bus to, and no, not to school, but from school, and my mom needed like, you know, checking in and all that when I got home. So she finally, you know, caved and bought me that cell phone. That was the first cell phone I had. Oh god, it was I loved it. To be honest, I loved it. And then like when you bought like a ringtone or a wallpaper was a big deal because you were making like a cellular charge, all that different stuff. I got to experience that, and then we got to see what it was like when the first iPhone came out. We're on, this is the X. That's old. The X. That's old. So we are on like what, the 12th iPhone or some shit. I was, you know, like just kind of rethinking about it, just going through the generations, the bulky iPhone 1, the iPhone. That's just so funny. I'm not gonna even go into that. It's just, I got to experience, like, and other people my age got to experience what that was like, that paradigm shift of what was important back then, you know what I mean? Like how businesses approached you, how advertising talked to you, what kind of things they used to bring you in for business. Everything has changed. Everything, because of the internet. In a general sense, has it made life better or worse? I think there's a extremely strong and potent case for each side, right? I definitely do think it does depend on who you are as a person, where you come from, your upbringing, all that stuff in this case matters, because all these things have attributes and has contribution to who you are as a person and your outlook on life. And I think that is probably one of the most important things when you're talking about a debate. Someone who's experienced a lot of the tragedies in life and who has definitely had it rough, and has been more lived in the dark side of that. You're definitely more apt to say that it's been worse, and nobody will blame you. Like, you're not wrong. I don't think there's a right and wrong. I think these are both facts and these are both there. It is definitely an opinion, a personal opinion on which one is definitely more prevalent in your life. And if you are someone who is maybe, let's just, I hate using the word, but it's just gonna relate to you guys better, who is more privileged and who is more, who has, you know, like whose parents are just more well off or whatever, has definitely had a better life, had more of the positive attributes, you're probably gonna say the internet's the most amazing thing, which is, again, not wrong. That's not wrong. So it definitely depends on where you come from. When you guys put your comments down below, please try not to be biased. Let's try to have an open mind here. You know, I try to talk about both sides. In my opinion, if you guys are looking for my opinion, fuck, that's actually pretty hard. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Knowing some of the stuff that's out there, it is actually very hard not to unknow it, and it's very hard to kind of like have that positive face when you know some of the shit that's out there. However, you know, this has provided some of the greatest experiences that I have had in my life so far. I'm sure that many people can say the same thing. So it is very hard. I think I'm just gonna go with the positive side and try to say that go with this side, the positive. I'm just gonna, do that. So I'm trying to be open-minded. I'm trying to bring you guys both all the facts and all that stuff. So please try to do the same. Let's talk about some of these things respectfully, of course. Let's have some fun in the comments. I definitely want to hear you guys some of your guys' opinions. So go ahead and do that. But anyways, guys, that is actually it for the video today. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash the like button, or just not to smash it, just click it. Just give it a thumbs up. Please tell me what you guys want to see from me, whether it's something completely different, or give me a prompt to talk about, or something. I want to make content that I love doing and that you guys want to see. So if you guys have any ideas or suggestions for me, please leave it down in the comments below, along with your opinions. Let's talk about some of these things respectfully, of course. Feel free to check out all the other videos I have on my channel. If you guys like those too, please subscribe for more content. But until then, I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.